A lot of people are expecting Olive Burrows to be here, right?
I'm telling you, she's not here.
She's not here.
I am here.
We've got Sam Gitooks. Good to see you, Sam.
Good to see you.
And one of the reasons Sam is here is because he's an expert in just about everything. I mean, this man knows just about everything. You are. And tonight we're discussing mining.
Yes, it's a minefield of sorts, right?
It's a minefield. Very nice. You see? I told you.
Yeah.
So who are you going to have and what's the topic?
Yes, these are the ladies and gentlemen that we'll be speaking to. Of course, the acting chief executive officer, National Mining Corporation, Namiko, that is Edward Omito. We'll be speaking to Michelle Mwambela, who is the chief executive officer of Association of Women in Extractives in Kenya. We'll also be speaking to Hannah Wangombe, who is a natural resource lead at Oxfam. We'll also be speaking to Sophia Kutiti, who is chair Mineral Rights Board. And of course, we'll be speaking to Enoch Kipseba, acting director Geological Service in the country.
It is a full house, and we'll talk about minerals, Kenya's next frontier.
Yes, of course. You know, there's been several conversations over the years that mining may actually get to help the economy, but so much still remains to be done. What we've had is the small miners. You hear of tragedies that happen at different parts of the country. But tonight we want
illegal mines.
Exactly.
Yes.
We want now to understand where the minerals, what is being done, what can be done to ensure that mining actually becomes a proper source of boosting our general, or rather, gross domestic product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, folks, start tweeting at Konanga Jeff.
At Sam Gituku.
At Citizen TV. The hashtag is Sunday Live. I thought you were going to say at Olive Burrows. Sunday Live begins right now. Let's just say tonight.
Tonight.
It is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is what we're going to do.
We won't apologize for giving to church. Ruto and Kindiki defend cash handouts and vow to continue giving donations to churches. The next move. Ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua hints at new political alliance by January to face Ruto in 2027. Mounting troubles for Adani. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission summons Indian billionaire Gautam Adani as pressure mounts on Kenyan government to make public Shah deal. Beaten, tortured, and left for dead. A nanny is fighting for her life after being tortured and thrown from the 4th floor of a building in Kiambu's posh estate. And welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Yulan. Now, we begin the bulletin with a raging debate on church donations, where President William Ruto now says he has no apologies for giving money to the church. Ruto and his deputy, Professor Kithure Kindiki, defended their church donations and vowed to continue giving to the church. We begin our broadcast with our very own Stephen Little.
7 days after his donations to the Soweto Catholic Church were rejected, President William Ruto was back to the pulpit in Kericho during an interdenomination prayer service where he said he has no apologies to make and he will not stop giving the church his contributions.
We have absolutely no apologies to make as we give to God, because God gave first.
President Ruto began by listing to churches he had begun construction in Kericho County and whose works are pending, cued by Majority Leader Aaron Cheruyot, who called on the local churches to come out and oppose the other religious organizations who are embarrassing the president. Ruto said he will not stop what he had begun 30 years ago.
We understand the word of God enough to know that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is what we're going to do. So, musikwe na wasiwasi, jenga makanisa yetu.
President Ruto used the keep-seated prayers to rally Kenyans behind the Social Health Insurance Fund, with a spot-checkered venue showing about 20% of attendees had registered.
Hatua ya kwanza kwa mambo ya afya ni wewe ujisajili. Wende pale, ijulikane majina yako, mahali unaishi, watoto wako ni ngapi.
Wakati wowote wakati kuna mabadiliko, wale ambao walikuwa wananufaika kutoka corruption, sana sana ile ilikuwa kwa NHIF, hawawezi kukubali. Ndio hao wamejaa kwa social media saa nyingine na fitina na maneno ya uongo.
So far, more than 12 million people have registered for the new health insurance scheme, with that number notably below average.
Kila Mkenya awe na kazi asiwe na kazi, awe na uwezo asiwe na uwezo, kila Mkenya apate nafasi ya kupata afya na asinyimwe kwa sababu hana uwezo.
Far away in Laisami's constituency in Marsabit County, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki rallied the northern part of the country to register for the health insurance scheme and boost the numbers.
I can say without fear of contradiction that the new social health insurance will work and it will benefit the people of Kenya.
Mambo ya afya ya serikali ambayo imekuja itashughulikia hata mambo hiyo ya kansa. Tunaomba hiyo process iende haraka, watu waweze kusaidika.
Sasa mimi nawahimiza wananchi wa hapa, tukate hiyo taifa care ambayo tunaita SHA. Ndio sisi wote tupate hiyo mfumo wa afya. Ukienda hospitalini, ukienda dispensary, unaweza kuhudumiwa vizuri bila kulipa chochote.
Kindiki, while in Laisamis, called for unity in the northern part of the country and pledged that the government will deploy more Kenya police reservists to boost security in the region.
Nataka Kenya ibaki kama taifa moja. Yale matatizo yako tusaishiane kwa upendo.
Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
At the same time, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has hinted at the formation of a political party that he says will be the region's bargaining chip with others as they seek alliance with other political formations. Now, while acknowledging that he made a mistake to join forces with President Ruto in 2022, Gachagua pledged a grand movement to rival Ruto in 2027. We get more from our very own Kamau Mwangi.
Ihora Stadium, Sunday evening. A rapturous welcome for former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. The welcome coming hours after Gachagua had announced earlier in the day the formation of a political vehicle for the region that will be used for creating any alliance ahead of the 2027 polls. Amid the Ruto must go chants that ran through the stadium, zero speeches were made after power to the stadium was cut off just before anyone could speak. The former DP's presence ignored what could only be viewed as the region's withdrawal of support of President William Ruto, who has been viewed by the region as the orchestrator of Gachagua's hounding out of government. Earlier at a church in Kigumo in the day, Gachagua had made it known his next political move following his ouster from office, a party whose influence, he said, could dwarf the impact that late President Mwai Kibaki's NARC had 22 years ago.
This mountain, next year, the political movement that will start in this mountain, 202 will look like a joke. We shall join other Kenyans to get on the right trajectory and define our destiny.
The former DP daring his former boss to return to the region in political realignments, accusing him of having turned a deaf ear to the cries of the public and lying to the Kenya citizenry at the earliest opportunity.
Never again shall any leader take this mountain for granted, and never again shall we ever gabble our vote. Our vote will be well organized, well calculated, well anchored, and protected, so that the mountain will never find itself in a very awkward position we find ourselves in.
Having learned his lesson, he says, there'll not come a time the region will coalesce with anybody without clear rules of engagement. Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV.
At the same time, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka wants President William Ruto to give a time-bound commitment to the composition of the IEBC selection panel. Kalonzo has cited malice in what he describes as an unnecessary delay, which risks throwing the country into a political crisis. His sentiments coming with Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni announcing plans to form a grand coalition for the 2027 election. Our very own Serafina Chiengahuma. There's more.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka attended Sunday service at the Jesus Teaching Ministry in Embakasi East, Nairobi. It was here that Kalonzo, who is positioning himself as an opposition force, called out President William Ruto's administration for failing to address pressing issues in the country, including the pending reconstitution of the IEBC selection panel.
I expected William Ruto to have addressed the nation on that matter, na kusema by now he will have constituted the 9-man committee, 9-man, 9-woman committee, whose responsibility it is to get in place independent electoral and boundaries commission. Sasa hatuna. Sasa nchi haiwezi hata kufanya uchaguzi. Na pengine anataka tu aweke watu ambao watakuwa user friendly. If Kenya is a democracy, and we shall make sure it remains a democracy,
Kalonzo turned his gun to political leaders, accusing them of turning a blind eye on the plight of Kenyans in favor of their 2027 political interests.
And I am able to see, at the current trend, all these current members of parliament constituting as they do, the 13th parliament, not less than 95% ya hawa wajiandae kwenda nyumbani, because they have let down the country.
Kalonzo was accompanied by a host of political leaders, among them Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, who revealed plans to form a grand coalition that will bring together political heavyweights who have the muscle to unseat the current regime.
Lazima tuungane tukiwa wengi ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba hii kitu itakuwa one touch. One touch. One touch. Na ili iwe one touch, tunataka viongozi kama akina Matiang'i hapa. Viongozi kama Natembea hapa. Wote wakuje tuungane, tuhakikishe mambo ya Ruto ni one touch.
The leaders also want President Ruto to cancel the Integrated Healthcare Information Technology System deal under SHA, citing alleged links to the embattled Adani Group. Safin Achieng Oma, Citizen TV.
Speaking of the Adani Group, and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has issued a summons to Indian billionaire Gautam Adani following his indictment in the United States on bribery allegations. Now, the summons, which requires a response within 21 days, targets Adani Group chairman Gautam Adani and his nephew Sagar Adani for their alleged involvement in facilitating hundreds of millions of dollars in bribes. And even as the Indian conglomerate engages in what appears a gigantic legal battle, here in Kenya, civil society groups under the Okoa Uchumi umbrella are demanding for transparency over cancelled Adani Group deals. Take a listen.
2 days after President William Ruto announced cancellation of 2 major deals involving Indian billionaire Gautam Adani, after the tycoon was indicted for fraud by U.S. prosecutors, civil society groups want details of the cancellation made public. The group under Okoa Uchumi umbrella says the deal was shrouded in secrecy, adding that Kenyans must be made aware of cost implications and action taken on individuals who are involved.
If they do not resign, we call on the president, like he did in June, July, to dismiss those who hold executive offices and powers. And again, if this does not happen, for Parliament to commence impeachment proceedings against especially cabinet secretaries who steered the process of contracting the Adani deals.
But the President did indicate that those agreements be withdrawn and alternative options be pursued. We would also like as a Kenyan people to know what are these alternative options, what do they cost, what are the implications, because the Kenyan people underwrite the public-private partnerships. In the event that they do not perform, the Kenyan people will still have to pay. The government of the day still has to pay.
The civil society groups also questioned what they termed as unsustainable borrowing and mismanagement of borrowed funds.
Approximately over 70% of the nation's tax revenues and almost 50% of our budget are allocated to servicing debt, far outpacing the aggregate funding allocations to all critical services in health, in education, in social protection. This is evidence enough that the country is in a debt trap rather than a pathway to sustainable economy.
If these arbitrary, exorbitant taxes continue, they won't have anybody to tax, because how else will the Kenyans make money, run their informal businesses if their taxes are too high?
The Okoa Uchumi Group have also called on the government to tackle what they termed as budgeted corruption in government projects. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, switching gears here, and days after demolitions of homes belonging to 43 tenants in Woodley Estate to pave way for redevelopment of the estate, Woodley Residents Welfare Society organized a prayer meeting for the affected families, where they called on the international community to intervene on the matter. The residents have condemned the action by the Nairobi County government, saying it was an illegal eviction. Take a listen.
We have lamented over the years.
Helen Zainga is overwhelmed with emotions during a special prayer service for residents of Woodley Estate.
Renew.
The events of last Tuesday is still on the mind of not just the 43 affected tenants, but even those who are occupying the part which was not affected. Residents seeking heavenly intervention over a matter that has over the years been a subject of contention between Nairobi County government and the residents, some who have been tenants for over 50 years. The over 1,200 residents who are still at Woodley now want an intervention from the international community. In a letter addressed to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the residents want the UN through the Kenya Human Rights Commission to inquire the reasons why the county government intends to reduce 1,200 residents into internally displaced persons.
Intervention of the Secretary General of the United Nations through the Kenya Human Rights Commission to inquire the reasons and way the county government intends to resolve this situation, thereby ending refugee status of 1,200 residents.
The Residents' Welfare Society has now appealed to LSK to form a committee of jurists to investigate what they termed as illegal demolition and eviction. They have also vowed to move to court to demand for compensation.
Kwa hivyo tumewauliza wafanye calculation ya ile vitu yote ambayo ilipotea. Tumewaambia they report to the police ile vitu ambayo ilipotea, kwa sababu the whole thing was illegal. Na tumeambia sasa mtu akifanya hivyo kwa sababu ako na nguvu ya office, you go for now for damages. Kuna kitu kingine unaweza fanya.
Mtu yote anataka to alter the story or history of Woodley, it will not be altered. Si mnajua kuna watu wanataka ibadilishwe, iwe history ni mpya.
The residents have also appealed to IPOA to probe the conduct of the police officers who provided security during the eviction that was conducted at night. During the prayer meeting, residents raised 300,000 shillings to assist those who were affected. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, at the same time, the Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024 and the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill public participation enters its final stage this coming week with a sitting at the Kenyatta International Convention Center here in the nation's capital. Now, this follows heated sessions witnessed in 6 counties, where Kenyans expressed concerns over utilization of taxes and, of course, the question of corruption. Let's get more from our very own Seth Olale.
The Kenyatta International Convention Center will host the final lap of the public participation for the Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024 and the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill 2024 that was staged in 6 counties last week. Nairobi residents will have 3 days to engage the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and present their submissions. Under the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill 2024, the tax amnesty program will be extended from June 30th, 2024 to 30th June 2025 should the proposals get the nod and become law. Notable inclusions in the Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024 are the introduction of the Significant Economic Presence Tax that will replace the Digital Service Tax at an effective rate of 6% and the incorporation of the Housing Levy and SHIF as allowable deductions, among others. With tax collection being an emotive issue among Kenyans, accountability and corruption were among the issues Kenyans raised concerning utilization of taxes during the public hearings conducted in Kericho, Siaya, Isiolo, Bungoma, Taita Taveta and Mombasa. National Assembly Finance Committee Chairman Kuria Kimani reassured Kenyans that the views on this bill will be incorporated, promising to do away with proposals that most Kenyans will reject.
They should look at widening the net so that they get more people paying taxes as opposed to increasing taxes to already those who are paying.
Both the Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024 and the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill were read for the first time on Wednesday, 13th November 2024, and thereafter forwarded to the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning for consideration and reporting to the House. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
All right, let's switch gears here. Very sad story. A 22-year-old house help is in critical condition at Kenyatta National Hospital after a fall from the 4th floor at Jumuira Heights. Shani Atieno, who had been employed for less than 2 months, reported a violent altercation with her employer that led to her jumping in a bid to escape. Now, police investigating the incident say the employer is also under probe for other criminal offences. Let's get more from our very own O.D. Francis.
Kiambu police are investigating what they believe is a murder attempt involving a young woman who fell from the 4th floor of Jumuira Heights on Monday, November 18, 2024. The victim, identified as Shani Melza Atieno, a house help, was found lying in the apartment's basement after the fall.
Msichana wetu amevunjika spinal cord, amevunjika mguu na kuna bruises mwili yote.
The house help claims she had been enduring physical abuse from her employer for the 2 months she worked for her. On the fateful, she claims to have been attacked with a knife.
Tangu niingie kwa hiyo nyumba. Sina mani.
Una mani?
Ni vipigo tu.
Kupigwa? Wanakupiganga na nini?
Hizo silaha za jikoni. Last time walinigonga mwiko hadi kichwa ikapasuka.
Ikapasuka?
Nilishona hapa tu. Naumia. Nimefungiwa kwa nyumba. Hakuna mtu mwenye anaweza nisaidia. Alienda kutoa nguo nikujue vizuri. Nadisha nigonga hizo matisu. Dining chair.
Kisu amekukata wapi?
Mkono. Na kichwa sijui kama katika jua alikuwa ananigonga nazo.
Nini?
Kichwa. Na hiyo kisu tu.
Hospital records from Radiant Hospital indicate that she was treated for a head injury on November 1st, 2024 with a follow-up care on November 4th of 2024.
1 week ago, huyo mama aliingiza rolling pin kwa sehemu yake nyeti ya haja kubwa.
Niyo rola aliniingiza kwa makalio, akatwist. Rola ya chapati.
Really?
Kila siku ananiambianga yeye anaweza niua. Anazika bila mtu kujua na kuna wale anaweza pelekwa.
On November 18th, 2024, she was hospitalized again with critical injuries, which the attending doctor confirmed were consistent with severe physical assault.
To evaluate her up to the point that she was going to Kenyatta. She had a fracture in L1, L2, but that fracture was not displaced. Here inaonyeshwa kwa CT scan.
Na aliniambia mama alimwambia ameshaandika wafanyakazi wengine hata wajulikani mali wako, so yeye hata mshinda.
Police say Lavenda Akinyojilo, who recorded a statement on Monday, is currently under investigation for a series of criminal offences spanning several years and locations. The investigations dates back to 2011 when she was implicated in a break-in and case reported in Makupa police station in Mombasa. She is linked to burglary and stealing in 2018 and 2019 in Kleleshwa. This year, she was arrested in connection with 2 house-breaking and theft incidents that took place in April.
Nataka serikali to investigate what really happened, because I don't believe sister yangu ako somehow depressed. Inyaneza ruka from 4th floor mpaka chini.
Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, at the same time, a family from Bonchari area in Kisii is seeking assistance to unravel the mystery behind the death of their kin, whom they believe died due to negligence. 18-year-old Beryl Nyaboke had written most of her KCSE papers from Ogande Girls High School in Homa Bay before she reportedly fell ill and died. The family, however, says that their daughter was in perfect health and are accusing the school of negligence. Let's get more from our very own Laura Tieno.
At the homestead of Ruth Kerubo in Bomorenda village, Bonchari, a heavy cloud of grief has been hanging for nearly 2 weeks. A tent that was pitched during the burial of this family's patriarch is still up, this time a meeting point for vigil following the death of 18-year-old Beryl Nyaboke. She was 2 papers away from finishing her KCSE papers from Ogande Girls High School in Homa Bay. But on 11th November, the family received a devastating call in the wee hours.
Nitoka nyumbani hadi huko hospitali Homa Bay, referral. Ndio nilimpata mtoto wako kwa kitanda. Haongei. Amelala tu hapo.
Jinsi nilivyoambiwa kutoka shuleni kwamba kutoka juzi hakuwa anasikia vizuri. So to the point of my daughter's demise, I don't know what happened, and what I want as a parent is to know from the time she was unconscious, before she became unconscious, what happened.
According to hospital records, Beryl succumbed to severe malaria. Ogande Girls High School Chief Principal Dr. Jennifer Otolo says the matter is being handled at the Homa Bay County Education Office. The family feels there was negligence on the part of the school.
Tuliwapa mtoto ambaye anafanya mtihani. Tunataka watuelezee mbona wanaturudishia besheni na hivi hizi champeli zake anavaa. Mbona wanaturudishia beseni na mwili? They are supposed to at least explain this is what happened.
The body is at the Nyangena Hospital morgue in Kisii as the family banks on hope that they will at least get closure on the death of their king. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
All right, on that note, we're going to take our first break here on Sunday Live. And remind you, we have a panel discussion tonight. That's why we've employed the services of the very, very knowledgeable Sam Gituku to talk about mining, the next frontier. And he has a whole host of guests tonight.
Indeed.
Right, Sam?
Yes. You want me to tell you who they are?
Please, if you don't mind.
Okay, all right. So we have the acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Mining Corporation. It's a very young organization. He's Edward Mito, who is a geologist. We also have Michelle Mwambela, who is the Chief Executive Officer of AWEC. We have Hannah Wangombe, who is a Natural Resources Lead at Oxfam. And then there is Sophia Kutiti, Chairperson Mineral Rights Board, a very crucial institution in the country. And then, Kibseda, who is the acting director, Geological Service in the Republic. So we'll be having that conversation. For the questions that Kenyans may have, we'll be getting answers for them. And of course, what that next frontier should mean economically.
Absolutely. Send those questions and comments to @Koinange Jeff.
At Sam Kituku.
Hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment. It is exactly 38 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live. Here at Citizen Television, Olive Burrows is off tonight. Now, tonight, a Nairobi-based businesswoman is at the risk of losing an investment worth millions of shillings to a businessman whom she had leased a business premises from. Now, Rose Muadeu has told Citizen TV that she leased the business premises, which is called the Magic Business Center, along Ronald Ngala Street in the nation's capital for 10 years, starting in 2021. But she has been forcefully evicted from the premises. And Muadeu says efforts to reclaim the business premises has been frustrating and has also earned her threats on her life. Take a listen.
Rosemary Muadeu is a Nairobi-based businesswoman who says her ambitious dream to thrive as a business lady is fading away each day. Her desire to try business in the capital got her into trouble. It all began on 14th April 2021. On this date, her business company entered into a lease agreement to operate a business premise along Ronald Ngala in Nairobi. She says the lease was to run for 10 years from the date. After leasing the business premise, she fixed stalls in the building so as to rent it out to small and medium traders.
So I need to recover my 8 years lost or to be given back my building. I continue with my business and recover that money.
However, just 2 years down the line in November 2022, Muadeu says she was forcefully evicted from the business premise. On 13th July 2023, Rosemary claims armed goons struck havoc at the premises. In the ensuing chaos, her manager and other employees were assaulted and left nursing serious injuries. The matter was reported to Kamkunji police station, but investigations have since stalled.
And my business just taken away like that by goons, by people who did not have even mercy on me. And I was just removed from my building using pangas and machetes. I feel that that was so bad of a lady like me, having invested such an amount of money, and right now I'm out here suffering.
In July 2023, the Environment and Labour Court ordered that the status quo is maintained and that the eviction be stopped. But despite receipt of the court order, police in Kamkunji maintained that the matter is still under investigations. In December 2023, a different businessman moved to court seeking orders of maintaining status quo, overturning the alleged illegal eviction, and that the matter be considered through arbitration. Muadeu says her attempts to get justice have landed her in trouble with unknown people, threatening to deal with her through whatever means.
The criminal beat in which I was evicted from that building, the case is still with the DCI and quarters. So even anybody wanting to buy that business, for me, I would object, because I still believe that I'm the rightful owner of that business up to today.
We contacted the businessman involved in this matter, but when we introduced ourselves on the topic, he hung up on us and our calls were later ignored.
No, don't call me for this. My lawyers are handling the matter.
I'm crying to you so that you can come into my aid and listen to my story so that I can get help and I can get compensated and justice is done to those people who evicted me from my building without mercy.
Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
All right, take a look at these awards. That's the next story. Royal Media Services has bagged 3 prestigious awards at the 13th Marketing World Awards held on Saturday night at the Ola Sereni in Nairobi. Royal Media Services Citizen TV took the Innovative TV Station of the Year Award. Marketing Team bagged the Marketing Team of the Year Award under the Broadcast category, and Citizen Digital won the Digital Media Brand of the Year award. Now, the Marketing World Awards aims at celebrating leading brands on the African continent and also provides an opportunity to put dynamic organizations in the spotlight. Now, the awards also provide excellent public relations and marketing opportunities for industry players. The event, which brought together industry players from both private and public sectors from East and West Africa, saw other organizations, including NCBA Bank and KPLC, bagging awards in various categories. Take a listen.